Today on Family Matters.
He kicks, punches, smacks. He's grabbed me by the throat.
Are you scared of yourself?
When he gets in this rage, yeah.
I'll take him out sometimes and we'll have a lovely day, and then as soon as me and his mum are together, that's it. It seems to change. Changes into a different kid.
You are the parents, you are the adult. You are responsible for shaping that little boy's behaviour.
No offence to you, I just wish we didn't have to come here. I wish we could just be a nice family.
Say, what is your problem?
She wasn't going to school. She was always late. I was at breaking point and I asked my mum to have her because I didn't know what else I could do with her.
I think my sister needs to grow up and think of other people except for herself. She's living in her own world.
I don't want Ben and Lauren to be where me and Steve are. I don't want them to not talk for 10 years and then one of them to find out they're in hospital. I don't want you and Lauren to be where I am.
It's a shocking tragedy and a rude awakening, and it really does put things into perspective when something like this happens. It really does. Hello and a warm welcome to the show. My first guest, Emma, is here because her son's unruly and aggressive behaviour is not just affecting her relationship with partner Sean, but the stress actually caused her to suffer from alopecia for the last 8 months. Emma says that the violence from her son is often focused on her and she wants to get help before this breaks the family apart.
Come here, wait for Mason. I'm Emma. I live here with my partner Sean, my 2 children. I've got a 9-year-old boy Mason and a 1-year-old girl called Isla. We need help because our son is getting out of control with his anger, his attitude.
I'm not getting one. Eh? Not getting one. I'm going to bed. 8:05.
You know, you're going to bed at 8 o'clock.
5 10 minutes.
Nope.
10 minutes.
Nope.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Mason's behaviour involves kicking, punching, slapping, shouting.
Can you go to bed, please? No.
I've got alopecia, which is down to stress. It's literally tearing my hair out. I think it's just my body saying, you can't do it for much longer. The worst thing that he's ever done is grabbed me by the throat.
It took a lot to get him off.
Sean's getting depressed. One of the reasons is Mason's behaviour.
I've been off work recently with stress. I do feel powerless in a way because there's only so far you can go. There's only so much you can do where we clash.
You can read a book for 10 minutes.
No, you can't. I'll say one thing, she'll say another.
No, if you read a book for 10 minutes, then I'll go up and I'll take it.
I'll just talk. So you might as well just let me have his tablet or his TV, do you
No, reading a book in the same as that.
It's putting a big strain on us.
Yeah. Where does that one go?
What do you want?
Well, what are you getting?
I just told you twice.
We've spoke quite a few times about breaking up.
If something doesn't change, we won't be a family for much longer.
So, thank you both for coming. The first question I'd really love to pose to the pair of you is, were there ever conversations with respects to your parenting skills and being on the same page with how you would raise the kids?
Not before we had them. I mean, we do say to each other now, you know, is it us that's causing him to be like this? Because, you know, we don't agree most of the time.
What are the things you don't agree on? Because I think that they're healthy to kind of really point out and identify.
I'm more firm than Sean. Sean works longer hours than I do, so sort of when he sees the kids, he just wants to treat them, you know.
You as a chef, is that right?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're currently not working at the moment.
I've got a job, but I'm on sick from my job, so I do have a job to go.
Because of all this?
There is this, but there's other. I'm not putting everything down to Mason, but there is majority of it is that, yeah.
How do you justify the violence, though? I mean, you know, where's this?
Don't know, but that's something.
don't know.
That's something me and you we've never
No.
been violent with each other. You know, we don't. It's like I say to him, I don't go around walking around to walk up to a random person in the street and punch them in the face or kick them. So where that comes from, I don't know.
What does he do?
He kicks, punches, smacks, grabs me by the arms. He'll punch walls, slam doors, kick doors. Just grab me by the throat.
And what happened?
I can't really remember how it got so bad, but just the vision of my child grabbing me by the throat. It was just a scary situation because he's a big lad, you know, he's 9 now, but it was like 2 years ago, if not longer, so...
So he's 7?
Yeah.
And he grabs you by the throat. What do you do? What do you think at that moment as it's happening?
I just thought, oh my God, but I sort of froze as well, just, has he actually just done that?
Are you scared of your son?
When he gets in this rage, yeah.
What about yourself?
You see, the violence is more aimed towards Emma. Is more that, to me, is verbally abusive towards me. I'll give him his due. You know, he don't. I'm not saying he swears. You know, he doesn't swear, and that's something that we are. I don't say lucky with because it's not, but you know, he can say some nasty things.
Quick with his mouth, isn't
Really
it?
quick with
So it's me. He knows that I'm smaller and closer to his size, that he can, you know, get the violence out. Whereas with Sean, he knows that Sean's more quick-tempered than I am, so he'll just carry on and he'll pick and he'll pick and he'll pick till Sean snaps.
I had a chance to meet him before the show. I'd like you to watch this tape. Hiya, how you doing on show? Nice to meet you. How old are you?
9.
9. How you doing?
All right.
You had a good morning?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are you interested in? What do you enjoy doing at school?
Maths.
And what about your hobbies? You into rugby, you play football, you like tennis?
Football and swimming.
Football and swimming. Who takes you to the leisure centre so that you can go swimming?
Sometimes just my mum, and sometimes just my dad or both of them.
Oh, OK, mum or dad. Do you know why you're here today? Do you know why the whole family came down?
For my behaviour.
Oh, is that what they told you? Does mum get annoyed with you sometimes?
Sometimes.
Yeah. What does she get annoyed about?
Sometimes when I'm silly, but then I get a bit too silly.
Right, OK. Have they ever said to you that your behaviour needs to change? What did they say about your behaviour then? Because I think, you see, I think that mum and dad, I think that they need to learn some things as well. They need to learn some tools as well, right? So then, I guess what I've got to do now is to go and talk to your mum and dad so that we can make things better in the house, right? Do you think that your mum and dad would be happier? Do you think you would be? You do? Why?
So I'm not getting shouted at all the time.
Right.
I'm getting stuff taken off of me.
Yeah. All right then, well listen, I'm going to go and talk to your mum and dad. See if I can help them with anything. All right? Nice talking to you though. See you later. Bye. What upset you about watching that?
She looks so little.
Sorry?
She looks so small.
He looks so small.
Yeah. Just
Because he is.
Yeah.
It's because he's a 9-year-old little boy.
Yeah.
And you've got him on a pedestal that's 20 foot high.
Still to come on Family Matters.
You are the parents. You are the adult. You are responsible for shaping that little boy's behaviour.
No offence to you, I just wish we didn't have to come here. I wish we could just be a nice family.
Who's the antagoniser in the relationship? You or you? Or are you both?
I think both.
Both of us, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet Julie. Let's take a look at some tape. It's your mum, right?
Yeah.
OK.
I'm Julie, I'm Sean's mum, Isla Grace's nana and Mason's nana. When Mason starts, it's the temper on him, it's horrendous, the faces, the temper on his faces, he don't know when to stop. It's like the devil's got inside him. Sean and Emma can't get Mason under control. They used to be able to, but not anymore. It's gone beyond that, I don't care.
Get round here now and pick that up. You can throw that in your dad now in serious trouble.
I've seen Sean in tears more than once. I think Sean thinks he's failed.
Get into bed. Now. Now. Move.
It is getting to crisis point. Thank God it's not there yet, but it's getting there.
Go to sleep. No shouting.
Could cry sometimes for him. I really could.
Hi. I'm getting my drink.
I don't think they can take it.
Idiot. Mason.
Julie, nice to meet you.
Hi.
What's your take on all of this? Listening to Mason and having these violent outbursts.
I don't know. I just really don't know where it comes from. It started when he was about 4, Emma, really, didn't it? I remember picking him up from preschool one afternoon. Do you remember? You finished work. He was sat watching his favourite, maybe Dora the Explorer, something like that. He really enjoyed it. She just said, "Are you going to give Mum a kiss?" And he turned round and he set about. He didn't remember. And both me and Emma said, "Where did that come from?"
And he did what?
He started kicking her and slapping her.
Smacking her.
And he was only 4.
Was he
just
told?
come out of nowhere.
But was he told about that being unacceptable behaviour? What did you do?
Well, it was easy to control then, just sat him down. You know,
And then what?
Told him that he can't do that, you know, it's not...
But was there a discipline? Was there a consequence? What happened?
No, I think we just told him, yeah.
Nothing. So you just told him, but you didn't do nothing. So you never learnt that there was a consequence for his actions?
No, not at that age, no.
So when did he ever start to learn that?
6, 7 years old.
6 when he was...
6. So he had 2 years of just behaving like that before you even put in any kind of consequence.
Yeah.
Is he like that with you, Julie?
No, he ain't.
Why?
I don't know. He's as good as gold. If me and Grandad has him, I don't even know I've got him. I don't even know he's there.
Why do you think he's doing it to Mum and Dad? And he doesn't to you?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Someone's not being tough enough. Someone's not being consistent. Someone's not following through. Someone's not doing something, obviously.
I think...
Majority, and I'll just, I give in too easy. I give him what he wants when he wants it. If,
You do give in too easy, Sean.
Emma can punish him, like say, take something away, and I'll give him it back. You know the thing with Mason as well is when he's a good lad, he's brilliant. It's like this morning, just me and him went for a walk up to Old Trafford. Lovely morning, We held hands all the way there.
Come on.
We just had, we didn't do it extravagant. We just had a lovely morning. There wasn't none of this like, "Dad, can I have?" And me having to say no, It was just really nice. I'll take him out sometimes, and we'll have a lovely day, and then I'll go home, and as soon as me and his mum are together, that's it. He seems to change. Like if he's out with Emma, it's the same. It's just him and Emma. It's lovely. And then when we're together, that's it. It just changes into a different kid.
Because that's all he needs. It's not about whether it's extravagant or not. It's about the fact that he enjoyed this morning. Just being with you, just being was enough. And you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, I love taking him out. I took him, me and him had a day out in London, went to Wembley to watch football, and we had a lovely day. But I know a lot of it is from him being, because I went back to work when he was about 1 month old, and from him being then to being, now, 6 days a week, 16 hours a day, which is what I do. I don't get any chance to spend time with him. And at the end of the day, it's you know, he's my baby, my little boy. It's just, you know, we're here to try get him help, and I just, no offence to you, I just wish we didn't have to come here. Wish we could just be a nice family.
But you are a nice family.
Yeah, no, but
nice
you know,
family, but you've got
go for a walk
issues
in
and
park and just hold on, that kind of like that,
Yeah.
without having to be shouting at Mason, even having to walk through a park because he's seen something he wants. You know.
But that's down to some of the skill sets that have not been put in place that we'll learn today. You know, the fact that you've come here to ask for help is a good thing. It's a good thing that you've done that, you know, and it's a good thing that you notice how he is when he is with you, and you're taking those walks and you're just spending that time together. And it seems that this was a good opportunity for you to get a lot off your chest with how you were
I
feeling.
don't know if Emma agrees, but I think 70-80% of it is down to where we are with him. And I think if we knew how to be different, which, because it's been so many years of being like this with him, we're just in this routine.
Just take a look at this videotape for a minute.
My worst fears for the future are we're not going to be a family that lives together, that Mason's behaviour when he gets older will seriously get him into trouble. I mean, I think my worst fears are that Isla's going to copy him. Dream outcome and to see us in the future would be all together, all happy.
We've tried every other channel, every other avenue. We've tried education system, skilled nurses, doctors, and we don't seem to be getting anywhere. This is, you know, it's very last resort for us. I just want us to be a nice family, you know, just we can go out and people want to invite you places.
There'd be a lovely little family unit. There would, and Mason stops them from being this lovely little family unit.
Julie, what's Mason not been taught by his mum and dad that he needs to be taught? Because the reality is that when he comes to your house, he does behave differently. Because you do have expectations, he does know where he needs to toe the line with you and his granddad. And there is a different way in which you communicate with him. Honestly, truthfully, because that's what family's supposed to be here for, okay, to not walk on eggshells, but to have open hearts and to be able to talk the truth. What do you see from the parents here that you know Mason needs that they just haven't quite grasped yet?
I think in recent months, I think he wants to be treated a bit more like an adult, a bit more he wants a bit more responsibility. Mm-hmm. You know, he don't want to be told to turn his TV off and go to bed because he'll do it on his own. He does when he's at my house.
I mean, you see how, I mean, he's sweet with his little sister.
She's his weakness. You know, he can be one of his flares and his tempers. She'll walk into the room and he'll stop.
Which shows you and I and all of us here, that he is very conscientious of how he behaves around his little sister. But there's no boundary in place that you're putting in for him as parents. What do we agree on today? Where do we move forward?
We need to work together.
I mean, what are you going to work together on?
Planning things, doing more with him, spending more time with him, giving him more trust and responsibility, and you know, and agreeing on what we're going to give him before. You know, I don't turn around at him and say you can do something, and then you don't agree with it. We agree on it before we tell him. So then when we do tell him something, we're both agreeing on it. So he's not then seeing me and you at each other.
Bingo, give me 5, man. Seriously, you just heard everything I just said. You just heard everything I said. You just heard everything I said. It's like the penny just dropped. So no tit-tat arguing, no shouting at him. Look at your own behaviour. Do not let him reel you in. You are the parents. You are the adult. You are responsible for shaping that little boy's behaviour. And he may tell you right now he don't want it, but he needs it. He needs it. I heard some lovely feedback from you here, Sean, about exactly what you need to do. You're listening, you're on board. I love it. I love it when I can hear that, because I know that tonight you're going to go home with a game plan, And that makes me really happy because that's what that little boy needs. He needs you to help him to emotionally be at the milestone where he needs to be. And he needs you to be able to help him do that. So do we have a game plan? Yeah. We have a game plan? All right, I feel good for that little boy there. Thank you.
Still to come on Family Matters.
I was separated from my husband, Steve. Since filming, he's had a stroke. That's the first time I've heard him speak since the 6th of February.
Welcome back. My next guest, Sandra, says that ever since her 20-year marriage to husband Steve fell apart after revealing she was gay, family life has been turned upside down. Take a look at this.
My name's Sandra and I live with my daughter Lauren, who's 13, and my son Ben, who's 15. He's more part-time because he lives with his dad sometimes as well.
Well, I'm Steve. I live in this place at the moment with my son.
Steve and I have been married for over 20 years. I left him in 2011. I'd always had feelings about girls, and I basically realised that although I love my children to bits and I would never change what I had in my life, that I wasn't happy at home.
It's something that obviously, you know, the sort of person I am, I'm not going to stop somebody from making a choice they want to make in life.
I took Lauren with me with a hope to sort her out. You're going to walk out of school? No, you need to do the detention.
I'm not staying.
You have to do it.
No, I don't.
She doesn't do anything unless she's asked lots of times. I would like to have that iPad, please.
It's not mine, it's Dina's.
Yeah, and you can have it back after I
No!
And unfortunately, it hasn't worked because my health has deteriorated as time's gone on. In 2005, I had a gastric bypass. I lost 13 stone, but my legs hadn't slimmed down. I'm at the point of ringing social services and asking for help. It's killing me.
Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you.
I guess very shocking in a way to look at the videotape because we spent time as a team filming in the house and watching yourself with your family. Today, could you please keep us up to speed and let our guests know here the circumstances of what's happened today in your family?
Okay, I contacted you because obviously things had gone wrong, bringing up Lauren and Ben. I obviously separated from my husband, Steve. Since filming, he's had a stroke.
All right, just take your time. Take your time.
That's the first time I've heard him speak since the 6th of February.
Take your time. Before that happened, before Steve had a stroke, there was obviously a lot of arguing and confrontation going off in the home, correct?
Well, we actually live apart. Since I came out as being gay, I actually left the family home and took Lauren with me.
So you were married for how long?
I got married 6 weeks after I turned 20, so 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah.
And then after 23 years,
yeah,
you must have that courage.
To be myself.
Lived the truth, which I commend you for.
Thank you.
And actually had that conversation, that very serious conversation with Steve.
With Steve, who was absolutely, to be honest with you, wonderful about it. Because as he said, there's nothing he could do to change that.
But was it a shock for him? I mean, he's in love with you. You've got 2 kids together.
We had
it must have
problems.
been difficult,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it wasn't all plain sailing. He understood, but he also understood there was nothing he could do to sort of save the relationship.
Yes. How was it for the kids when they eventually got told? I mean, was that a sit down with you and Steve? Was that a kids, I want to talk to you? Did they have some kind of idea?
I think
was there language floating around? I mean, what you know?
I think they had some sort of idea by the friends I was keeping.
Right.
But we did sit them down and we did talk to them, and they then came back to us and said, well, one's going to come and live with you, Mum, and one's going to live with Dad. And they actually chose who was living where, but Ben actually said, well, I'm going to go and live with Dad, because if Lauren lives with Dad, they'll kill each other because they don't get on. They've got quite a clashy personality together.
Yeah.
Constant rows with the pair of them.
Now, the stroke played what impact on Steve? I mean, what is his medical condition right now?
Right.
Can he talk? Can he walk? What's...
OK, 2 weeks ago I was told he would never walk or talk again. He has already...
There he is, look, on the tape.
He started to walk about 2 days after that.
Fantastic.
And I actually, 2 days ago, seen him transfer from seat to a car seat. And he even walks over little jumps now, like little dog jumps, to sort of get his positioning right.
Amazing.
His balance is a lot better. He's walking with one walking stick.
So he's making those baby steps forward.
He sure
literally.
Is. But he's still not speaking.
He's not talking.
And they still stand by the fact that he probably won't, which the children are struggling with big time.
So today then, as raw as this will be for you emotionally, you're going to see some videotape about what he felt, because he's unable to talk and tell the family this. And we have that tape.
I believe, probably in my heart, I probably know what I'm about to hear, but I am interested to hear it.
OK, let's take a look.
The stage we're at with Lauren at the moment is it's a constant battle daily. As soon as it's time to wake her up. Come on, please!
Okay, I am ready!
I can't obviously go upstairs to get her, so she knows that. And it becomes a screaming match every morning.
Stop swearing at me, get up! Now!
I am! I'm sat up in my room!
She won't undertake anything that she's asked to do. She's asked to clean her room. She's decided that she doesn't want to clean her room, and therefore she won't do it.
When are we going to get this room tidied, please?
Oh, I'm tidy it.
OK, yeah, what year?
She'll tend to argue with you until you either give in or it descends into chaos.
I'll delete him. Sake, what is your problem?
Right now, your attitude, sweetheart.
The use of the internet, that's controlled.
OK, I'd like to check your Facebook, please.
Why?
Because I would like to do one of my checks on your Facebook.
About 5 months ago, there was quite a few things that happened with Lauren.
OK, I'll delete him.
OK, delete that person right now, please.
There was a few incidents on the internet that didn't make me very comfortable at all.
I don't get why these people are on your Facebook, lols. So sending kisses and hearts.
I didn't know what else to put.
And it's got to the point where I've lost all trust in what she tells me she's doing.
Me and Lauren don't actually get on. I've never been brother and sister. I don't think her as my sister. Lauren gets away with too much, with not helping and not cleaning her room and not getting Mum any drinks or food. She just doesn't help. She just messes up the place.
Good to see you, Ben.
Thank you.
Obviously, incredibly sorry to hear the news of your father. It was a shock to all of us, including the team here. But I'm really glad to see that he's making those improvements and those baby steps forward. Fingers crossed he continues to do so. Tell me what's going on with your sister. What do you see? Because I'm watching that videotape, you know, and it's obvious that you're there for your mum, helping her out with her own medical condition.
Yeah.
Correct? Explain that for me again, please.
Got a condition called lipedema. It's a toxic fat that only affects women. You're born with it. And basically your legs just grow and grow and grow, and I will eventually be bedbound.
Right. So, obviously, Ben, doing stuff, helping out around the house. This has happened with your father. What needs to happen? What's going on?
I think my sister needs to grow up and think of other people except for herself. She's living in her own world. I don't think she totally understands what's going on around her with Mum, what will eventually happen to herself with Dad. And she doesn't... The only reason me and Lauren really fight is because she'll not help or that sort of thing.
So obviously before the show I had a chance to catch up with your son and your daughter. So let's take a look. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Ben.
Hello.
Hi, Laura, nice to meet you. How would you travel down?
Long.
Long. All right, long. So, here today just to really have an opportunity to come together as a family and patch a few things up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to make things a bit better. In your mind, what do you feel needs help?
The arguments. And that.
Right, so like what?
How he tries to be the boss, like as when my dad's not there, and that, and how he tries to tell me like what to do.
Right.
And the arguments between me and my mum kind of get out of hand sometimes.
Does your mum rely on you in a way to help her?
The reason I ask her is because Mum gives up too easy. She's too soft, and like if she asks her to do something, she'll ask her twice, and she won't do it, and then...
But I do it in the end.
I'll have to ask her.
Right. So you step in though, because you see that your mum is failing to have communication with your sister where things get done. For you, it's being the peacemaker.
Yeah.
And the transition was one that you accepted easily or not when your mum and dad parted ways and your mum had...
We knew it was coming.
Lived her truth.
Because she kind of had a girlfriend while with my dad.
She had a
girlfriend while with my dad. So.
Whilst with your dad, okay.
Yeah, so we kind of knew it was coming.
Well,
right.
Dad already knew that she was with someone, but...
Right, okay. And so you were informed about that? You knew already?
No, we knew when they split up, when my mum came out gay, so...
Yeah, okay. What's the reality of that for you both? Do you feel torn emotionally?
No, because, like, when they started arguing, I just thought to myself, if they split up, I'm going with my mum.
Give me the reason why.
Because me and my dad clashed all the time. Like, we didn't, like, clash as much as we used to, but now I go up and see him every night in the hospital and we're quite close. And
of course, because you love your dad, of course.
Yeah.
What goes through your head in situations like that?
Why didn't they do it earlier? We would have been younger and we wouldn't, like, don't know, it would have, in a sort of way it would have been easier.
Itself, Ben. Your biggest concern really is how everyone's going to function under the home, under the roof, and your sister and your mum are going to get on better.
Yeah.
So that I guess you can really pull away, right? And not feel like you have to step up for your mum and be, in a way, a father figure, really, because you're stepping up into that role where you're supporting your mum in the place where your dad would have, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah.
OK, that makes it clear for me. What relationship do you want with your sister? What would you like?
For me to think of her as a sister instead of not.
But what do you think of her then?
I don't think of her as a sister. I think of her as somebody who either lives under the same roof or just has the same blood sort of thing.
So emotionally, you've kind of detached from her because you're clouded by other emotions, though, right? With respects to just feeling resentful that she can't pull her weight, that you are, and she's not.
Still to come on Family Matters.
I don't want Ben and Lauren to be where me and Steve are. I don't want them to not talk for 10 years and then one of them to find out they're in hospital. I don't want you and Lauren to be where I am.
Why is Lauren not living with you?
Because since Steve had his stroke, she's been sleeping on her floor upstairs in front of her door, so we can't get into her in the mornings. She's not been going to school on time.
So how long has she been living at her grandma's?
The last 2 weeks, I think it is. She does go there every now and again when things just seem to build up.
Choices? Who made the choice? How did the decision come about?
The first time she went, I was at breaking point and I asked my mum to have her because I didn't know what else I could do with her. I was getting in trouble with school because she wasn't going to school. She was always late. Now, I physically can't get up the stairs in the morning, so what do I do? I mean, how do I cope with that? How do I get her downstairs?
I had a chance to meet Lauren, so let's watch the videotape so we can listen. So, Lauren, what doesn't your mum understand?
Everything.
Let's talk about that. Let's bridge the gap here.
She doesn't trust me, and she doesn't trust me, like, something happened quite a while last year with something I don't really want to mention.
Yeah.
And
was it bad?
Yeah.
Was she responsible?
No, but I've tried to gain her trust from that, like going out with my mates and that, and I've been home on time, but she still doesn't trust me.
What does your mum do that you feel invades your space?
Well, she checks my Facebook and that because she doesn't trust me.
Yeah.
And like she doesn't let me. She just always checks what I'm doing. It's like, let me have some freedom. I want to go live back at home with all the arguments stopping.
Why do you want to go back and live back home?
Just so I can live with my mum again and be a proper family.
You looked over at Ben then, and?
She's very clever, and that's what I got from that. The door has never been shut for her to come home. She goes to my mum's and she is told she can come back whenever she wants. I've never, ever closed the door to her.
I don't think she's saying that, though.
And even to the point that we spoke to her about coming home after we'd been here, and she's chosen to go back to my mum's.
What do you need from your mum, Ben? What does your mum need to know so that your sister can't keep getting away with all this?
You can't give up with telling her what to do, because when you give up, she gets what she wants. If she gets what she wants, she doesn't learn. Even doing jobs around the house, she doesn't do any.
And she's got worse since this.
Yeah.
But it's not all focused around Steve and his stroke. I mean, this was going on, and it's been going on for years. I've lost my connection with her a long time ago, and I don't know how to get it back.
The reality is that you are living your truth, and you cannot take one step forward and live your truth as the woman you are today and the mother, and yet let her get away with blue murder because you feel guilty for that. Or not put your foot down and say, this is how things are going to be. And then all she learns is that as long as you're prepared to back down from every word, what have you just taught her?
Yeah, I'm not one of these mums that sits here and says, oh, I've been a good mum, blah, blah. I know I've messed up, and I know I have.
So you say to me how to change. All you do is reverse what you have been doing. What makes you not be consistent? What makes you cave in and go, no, I won't do it today? Why do you not follow through? Why are you not consistent?
I don't know.
Until you know the answer, it won't change. Now, I know your sister-in-law's here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steve's sister.
Yep.
I'd like to meet her. Take a look at the tape.
I'm Liz, and I'm Steve's little sister. We drifted apart from 10 years ago. I went to the hospital to see my brother, and it was the first time I'd ever seen my brother face to face, and in the 10 years we hadn't seen each other. It's the first physical, the first time I ever got to hold his hand. We were really close when we were young. I really idolised him. I'm hoping that we can continue that as brother and sister.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Well, you hear what's going on here.
Yeah.
Trying to sort stuff out, right? How did you hear the news of your brother?
It was through his eldest daughter and Lauren.
Right.
Both, they texted me to say, you know, Dad's had a stroke, but he's okay at the moment. And I'm like, oh, that's not okay. And it shocked me because there was still that element of anger from all that time apart. But we'd only just, that little seed just started to develop that we might start talking again. And I was really thrilled. I thought, finally, we can finally put all that aside and move on, because I really missed having a family. I really missed that. It always used to annoy me that all my friends got to go and see their family, you know, close relatives, and I don't have that, even though they're a stone's throw away. So when I found out, it was just like, oh, I'm going to lose my brother. We haven't even resolved any of this. And there's another thing, I really want to say this to Ben and Lauren. When I was listening earlier on, I don't want Ben and Lauren to be where me and Steve are. I don't want them to not talk for 10 years and then one of them to find out from a niece or nephew they don't know, you know, don't really know, to say they're in hospital. I don't think either of you will ever understand how heartbreaking that is, especially if you haven't spoken for so long. Sorry, I don't want you and Lauren to be where I am. You two really need to be brother and sister. You need each other. This is where you need it. Yeah. You need each other. I can't stress that enough.
I mean, we asked you all about the future. I mean, let's face it, it's a shocking tragedy and a rude awakening, and it really does put things into perspective when something like this happens. It really does. Mm-hmm. Steve can't tell us anymore, can he? He can't tell us anymore right now what his hopes for the future are, what he wants to see right now. But I do want you to take a look at the videotape, because he did tell us.
Both me and Sandra both feel that we seem to have lost something along the way with Lauren, in the way of a relationship that you'd have with a child. And it's hard because we don't know how to get that back.
If nothing changes, I don't know where I'm going to be. It'll get to the point where I can't deal with her. I will have to try and get help elsewhere, because it's slowly running me into the ground. There you go. It's hard.
Love ya. Yeah, you too.
I always feel that the best tool that a parent can ever do is to be able to just be really honest about where they've screwed up with their teenagers, you know, and to just say there are just some things that I felt, you know, that I felt really sorry for you in those circumstances. But as a teenager, I weren't doing my job as your mum. And as your mum who loves you dearly, this is what I do need to put in place, because I do give a damn, because I do love you and I do care. And this is what we are going to do moving forward. So cleaning that slate not only allows you to put in the boundaries and the guidelines and the expectations and the designated chores of how you will all muck in together and be a part of that family, but also the things that you will do as a family. This is actually what I do want. You know, I've got, you know, my legs hurt me and, you know, the mobility is not always there, but I would like to know that on this night and this night, we actually can come together and have a game of cards, that we can come together and put a movie on. I want time, I want to connect, I want to be able to do that. Because those little small things that happen here and there are what's going to make you connect, you know? And I've got to be honest with you, for all sitting here, that man has a journey. He has a really tough journey, emotionally, mentally. He's being tested every day. And if that man could not walk and he's taking a few steps every day to get himself better, then I'll be damned that you lot can do it, let me tell you, because he's doing it. I know this is what he would want, and of course, he's got his own reflection, his own time. But it'd be lovely to have that relationship, obviously, again with your brother.
Absolutely. I need it to be back. I need them in my life again.
It's a very special relationship, As someone who's a big sister, it's a special relationship.
I miss it. I so miss it, and I want Ben and Lauren to have that. And it saddens me that right now they don't.
There's no reason why you can't work towards that. You know, there's not. Let's go home tonight and put in place what needs to be put in place as a parent and not a friend, so that we can shift and totally change the family dynamics, so that we can shift it around, so that we can keep walking forward, because that man's walking forward. I want you guys walking forward. Can we work towards that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.